Imagine you get a phone call from a friendly, well-spoken advisor. He has a calm voice, a professional manner, and he tells you about an investment opportunity that sounds almost too good to pass up. Safe. Guaranteed. Returns far better than any bank could ever offer. You are careful, so at first you say no. But he doesn't push. He is patient. He sends you a link to a beautiful, professional-looking website with your name already on it, showing your money growing day by day. You start with a small amount just to test it. And it works. The numbers go up. You even withdraw a little to prove to yourself it's real, and the money actually arrives in your account. So you relax. You invest more and more. Your entire life savings, the money you worked 40 years to build, the money meant to carry you through your retirement. And then one day, you try to withdraw it all. And nothing happens. The website is gone. The advisor's phone is switched off. Your money has vanished into thin air, and it is never coming back. This happens to thousands of careful, intelligent people every single month. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why even the smartest among us fall for it. But before that, I am going to reveal to you the single most important warning sign, the one detail that gives away every one of these scams every single time, no matter how convincing it looks. Stay with me until the end, because that one thing could save you everything you own. Hello, and thank you for being here today. If we haven't met before, let me tell you a little about who I am and why you can trust what I'm about to share. I'm a security expert with 20 years of experience, a former anti-fraud investigator. For 2 decades, I have sat across the table from victims of investment fraud, and I have studied the people who commit it, learning exactly how they think and how they choose their targets. Today's video is going to protect you and the people you love from one of the cruelest, most financially devastating scams in the world right now: the fake, guaranteed investment. If you find this helpful, please take 1 second to subscribe, because everything I make here is built to keep you and your family safe. Now, let me show you how this trap really works, so you will recognize it the very moment it comes for you. Let me start by telling you something that might surprise you. The people who fall for investment scams are not foolish. They are not careless. In my years of investigating these cases, the victims were retired teachers, engineers, doctors, business owners, accountants. Sharp, sensible people who had managed money their whole lives. And that is exactly why this scam is so dangerous. It is not built to fool the careless. It is built to fool the careful. The scammers know that a cautious person will not hand over money to a stranger on the first call, so they have designed the entire trap around your caution, using it against you, turning your own good sense into the very thing that pulls you deeper in. Let me tell you about a man I will call Robert. Robert was 63, recently retired after a lifetime of hard, honest work. He had saved carefully, and he had a comfortable amount set aside, enough to live on for the rest of his life if he was sensible. Robert was not a gambler. He didn't chase get-rich-quick dreams, but he did worry, quietly, that his savings sitting in the bank were slowly losing value, earning almost nothing while prices kept rising. So when a polite man called him one afternoon and spoke about a way to make his money work harder, Robert didn't hang up. He listened. And that single decision, to simply keep listening, was the beginning of the end. The man on the phone never pressured him. That is the first thing Robert told me, and it is the thing almost every victim says. He never pushed me. The caller was warm, knowledgeable, and completely unhurried. He talked about the market with total confidence. He used just enough technical language to sound expert, but he always explained it kindly, patiently, as if he genuinely cared about helping Robert understand. He asked about Robert's family, his plans, his worries. He seemed, more than anything, like a friend who happened to know a great deal about money. After that first call, the man sent Robert a link to a platform. And this is where the trap tightens. The website was stunning, professional, polished. It had charts, graphs, a login page with Robert's own name, a dashboard showing his balance. It looked exactly like the kind of serious financial platform a real bank might use. Robert started small, with a modest amount he could afford to lose. Over the next 2 weeks, he watched the number on his dashboard climb steadily, day after day. It felt real because he could see it happening in front of his eyes. Then, to be safe, he asked to withdraw a small portion. And the money came back to him, right into his bank account, exactly as promised. That right there is the master key of the entire scam. That small, successful withdrawal. Because now Robert had proof. He had tested it, and it had passed. Every ounce of caution he had melted away in that moment. If they let him take money out, they must be real. So Robert stopped testing and started trusting. Over the following months, he invested more, and eventually he moved nearly everything he had into the platform, watching his fortune apparently grow into a number bigger than he had ever dreamed of. He felt clever. He felt safe. He even told a few close friends about his good luck. Then the day came when Robert wanted to bring it all home. He tried to withdraw the full amount, and suddenly, everything changed. There was a delay. Then a message saying he needed to pay a tax before releasing the funds, so he paid it. Then there was a fee. He paid that too. Then a problem with his account that required one more payment to unlock. Each time, they explained it so reasonably, and by now he had so much apparently sitting in that account that paying a few thousand more to release a fortune felt like the only sensible thing to do. Until finally, the messages stopped. The website went dark. The phone number was dead. And Robert understood, with a cold, sinking horror, that there had never been any fortune at all. The growing numbers were just pictures on a screen. His real money, the money he actually sent them, was gone. All of it. Everything he had spent a lifetime building, taken in a matter of months. I have seen the look on a person's face when they realize this, and I never forget it. So now let me do for you what I wish someone had done for Robert. Let me walk you through exactly how this scam works, step by step, so you can see every part of the machine and recognize it instantly. It begins with contact. Sometimes it's a phone call, like Robert's. Sometimes it's an advertisement you see online, often using the face of a famous, trustworthy person who has nothing to do with it, promising a special opportunity. Sometimes it comes through a message, or even through a friendly conversation that slowly develops over weeks in a chat group or on social media. However it starts, the goal is the same: to get you talking and to seem completely legitimate. Next comes the relationship. This is the part people underestimate. A good scammer does not sell you anything at first. He builds trust. He is patient, kind, and available. He calls to check in. He never seems desperate for your money, which is precisely what makes you believe he isn't after it. By the time he mentions the opportunity, you already feel like you know him. Then comes the platform, the fake proof. They show you a professional website or an app where you can watch your investment grow. Understand this clearly. Everything you see on that screen is a performance. The numbers are typed in by them. The growth is a story they are telling you with pictures. None of it is real. It exists only to make you feel confident enough to send more. Then comes the small withdrawal, the hook that sets the trap. Early on, they happily let you take a little money out. This costs them almost nothing, and it buys them your complete trust. It is the single most powerful move in the entire scam because it turns a cautious person into a confident one. The moment you successfully withdraw a small amount, your guard comes all the way down. Then comes the pressure to grow. Now that you trust it, they encourage you to invest more. Maybe there's a special limited opportunity. Maybe the returns get even better at a higher level. Maybe they gently suggest that a person as smart as you shouldn't leave money sitting idle. Slowly, they move your entire savings into the illusion. And finally comes the wall. When you try to take out a large sum, the excuses begin. A tax, a fee, a verification payment, a problem only more money can fix. This final stage is designed to squeeze the very last drops from you before they disappear. And then, silence. Now that you have seen the whole machine, let me give you the warning signs, clearly, one by one, so you can spot this danger long before it ever costs you a single coin. The first warning sign is the promise itself. Any investment that promises high returns with little or no risk is a lie. I want you to hold on to this simple truth for the rest of your life. Real, legitimate investments always carry risk, and the higher the reward, the higher the risk. Nobody, anywhere, can guarantee you big profits with no danger of loss. Anyone who uses the words guaranteed, risk-free, or you cannot lose is not offering you an opportunity. They are telling you, in plain language, that they are a scammer. The second warning sign is being contacted out of the blue. Real investment firms do not cold call strangers offering the deal of a lifetime. If someone reaches out to you unexpectedly, by phone, by message, by email, or through social media, with an amazing chance to grow your money, treat that contact itself as the danger. The opportunity found you. That is not how honest finance works. The third warning sign is pressure disguised as opportunity. It may not feel like pressure. It might feel like kindness, or excitement, or a special favor being offered only to you. But watch for anything that pushes you to act quickly, to keep it private, or not to discuss it with your family or your regular bank. A scammer's greatest enemy is a calm, outside opinion, so he will always gently try to keep you away from one. The fourth warning sign is being asked to move money in unusual ways, or to keep adding more to unlock what you've already put in. When you have to pay a fee, or a tax, or a special charge just to access your own supposed profits, stop completely. Real investments do not work this way. That extra payment is not a step toward getting your money. It is simply the next piece of your money being stolen. The fifth warning sign is any difficulty withdrawing your funds. In a real account, your money is yours, and you can take it out. The moment withdrawing becomes complicated, delayed, or dependent on further payments, you are almost certainly inside a scam, and you must act immediately. Now, here is what to do. And I want you to listen to this part carefully, because knowing how to respond is what turns you from a possible victim into a protected person. First, whenever any investment opportunity reaches you, especially one you did not go looking for, slow down. There is never a real opportunity that requires you to act this very moment. Urgency is a tool of the thief. A genuine, sound investment will still be sound next week after you have had time to think and to check. Second, before you give anyone a single coin, talk to someone you trust. Tell your husband, your wife, your adult child, a close friend. Say the words out loud. Someone has offered me an investment. Simply describing it to another human being breaks the spell, because scams rely on isolation. If you are being encouraged to keep something secret, that secrecy alone is your answer. Third, verify independently. Do not use any phone number, link, or contact detail the person gives you, because those all lead back to them. Instead, look up the official financial regulator in your own country, the government body that oversees investments, and check whether this company is properly registered and licensed. If you cannot easily find them listed with the official authorities, or if anything at all seems unclear, walk away. Legitimate firms are always registered, and it costs you nothing to check. Fourth, remember the golden rule about your own money and control. In any honest arrangement, you never have to pay a fee to receive money that is already yours. Never. If you are ever asked to send money in order to release your funds, it is a scam. 100% of the time, with no exceptions. Now, I know that some of you watching this may be feeling a knot in your stomach right now, because what I am describing sounds familiar. Maybe it has already happened to you, or to someone you love. If so, I want to speak to you gently and directly. And I want you to hear me clearly. It is not your fault. These criminals are professionals. They have scripts, they have training. They have spent years perfecting a trap designed specifically to fool careful, intelligent, decent people. Feeling foolish is exactly what they want you to feel, because shame keeps you silent, and silence protects them. So please do not stay silent. If this has happened to you, here is what to do, calmly, one step at a time. Contact your bank immediately and tell them what has happened, because in some cases, if you act fast enough, certain payments can still be stopped or traced. Then report it to the police and to your country's official fraud reporting service, even if you feel embarrassed, because every report helps the authorities track these criminals and can protect the next person. Gather everything you have: messages, names, websites, records of every payment. And crucially, if anyone now contacts you promising to recover your lost money for a fee, Understand that this is very often the very same criminals or their partners coming back for a second bite. Never pay anyone who promises to get your money back. That is simply the scam starting all over again. And tell someone you trust. Do not carry this alone. The weight of it is heavy, and you were not meant to bear it in silence. Speaking about it is not weakness. It is the first step toward taking back your power. Now, I promised you at the very beginning that I would reveal the single most important warning sign. The one detail that exposes every one of these scams, no matter how polished or convincing it appears. Here it is, and I want you to remember it for the rest of your life, because it is the one idea that can protect everything you own. It is this: guaranteed high returns do not exist. That is the whole secret. Every single one of these scams, without exception, is built on one impossible promise. The promise of big rewards with little or no risk. That promise is the lie at the heart of all of them. It does not matter how professional the website looks. It does not matter how kind the advisor sounds. It does not matter that you saw the numbers grow, or that you withdrew a little money once and it worked. All of that is theater, designed to distract you from the one impossible thing they told you at the start. So burn this single sentence into your memory, and let it be the shield that guards your life's savings. If it is guaranteed and the returns are high, it is not an investment. It is a trap. The moment you hear that promise, you do not need to know anything else. You already have your answer, and your answer is no. The real safety here does not come from being an expert in finance. It comes from that one piece of unshakable knowledge, held firmly in your mind, ready the moment a smooth, friendly voice offers you something that sounds too good to be true. Because now you know the truth. It always is. If this video has helped you understand this danger, please do one kind thing before you go. Share it with someone you care about, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, anyone who has savings and a good, trusting heart. Because those are exactly the people these criminals hunt. One short conversation, one shared video, could be the thing that saves them everything. And if you would like to keep learning how to protect yourself and the people you love, please subscribe and stay with me. I will keep watching out for you so that together we can make sure these criminals never win. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Stay safe, stay careful, and trust that quiet voice inside you that says, "Wait a moment." That voice is wiser than any scammer, and it will keep you safe.